a simple home kitchen in Cameroon with no more than a passion for baking and a determination to succeed. Vusi Tang Walters needed a dream into reality, relying on basic equipment and long hours of dedicated work, starting without a proper oven. Every loaf and pastry produced was a step toward building the thriving business known today as Wally Best Artistries. This journey is a testament to the power of perseverance, proving that even with a slow start and humble tools, big dreams are achievable. He's trained over 15 generations of bakers, assisted fully in several workshops, like the Abokwa Workshop, Baker's Delight Season 1 to Season 4, Men of Whisk Season 1 and 2, and also the Kamer Fiesta Cake. Today he joins Africast to tell us how the whole story started.
It's another edition of the Afrik podcast. Remember, we promised that it's going to be a platform where we discuss about how to educate the mindset of the young Africans and be able to build leaders that will build the continent of the Africa that we dream and want to see very big tomorrow. Normally, we cannot go through this if we don't bring in experienced people, those who have lived and have so much to tell, to explain and tell it to the younger generation so that they can make them prepared and ready to face the bright future which is before them. It is in this light, ladies and gentlemen, that we invite this man with a chucked up portfolio. Generally, he's known as a baker, but behind that baker, there are so many steps of him, which I won't like to say it alone here, but you will see from the way he starts talking. So join me, welcome the great man today. You're welcome to the seat today, Mr. Vusinta Waters.
Thank you, Mr. Wassa.
Okay, I would like us to dive straight into business. Now, a lot of people have been talking about cakes and pastries in a general. I want to know, what is the real significance of a cake in a ceremony? Because every ceremony I go to, I notice that there is a cake, birthdays, weddings, at times even funerals, a cake in the memory of the person who died. So what is the significance of a cake in a ceremony?
Thank you for that question. And I think that is a very interesting question, which if being asked just like that in an occasion to talk about the significance of a cake without really talking about the occasion, it will be really difficult for some of us. But to talk about cakes, I think a cake in an occasion, it depicts love, it depicts abundance, joy, share happiness in so many cultures. And it is a masterpiece in every occasion which bring about long and lasting memories.
Oh, that's very great. Now, I can think, from my experience, I have seen and noticed that during the moment of cutting of the cake in every event, there is always, everybody's attention is brought to a particular side where the cake is placed. Does it has any ancient story that, I don't know, how did he even come to bring the cake into, how did that happen?
Well, 2500 AD, I think that was when we had something in form of a cake. And it was in the ancient Egyptian culture that they started something like bread, honey, stuff like that. And I think it has evolved over time. And that is why today we have cakes and it is still evolving. It is still evolving. It breaks through different cultures, different society, different. In fact, it is really evolving.
So can the art behind the cake tell a story about the event?
Of course, any cake that does not have a story, I don't think it can give a long and lasting memory, because just from the physical appearance, approaching the cake in an occasion, just from the physical appearance, you can tell a story even without being told about it. Yeah.
So what are the examples that you can put in this?
Like mostly during the traditional weddings, you can see a cake which really talks about a specific culture. Just from the items on that cake, you can say that this These couples are from Bamileke, they're from the Northwest, just like that.
Oh, that's great. Okay, now away from cakes, let's come back to see how this journey started. You, in this your domain of cakes and pastries, you're not just a baker, but a well-recognized baker. When I was doing research, one of the things that brought you higher, I noticed that during the New Breed African Celebrity Award in 2023, you had the award of Best Cake Artist of the Year.
Yeah.
And then during the Blueprint Sugar Craft Celebrity Award, you had the best cake texture of the year. And during that same the Blueprint Sugar Craft competition, you came in as the first runner up for all wedding cakes.
That's true.
And then after that, you've spent so much time educating young people about the cake industry. I can see that like in the Abakwa workshop cake, in Abakwa cake workshop, from the season 1 to season 4,
Yeah.
you've been one of the main organizers and one of the real facilitators of that event. Even during the Men of Weeks season 1 and 2, and not forgetting the Bakers Conference season 1 or 2, which you've directly assisted in these occasions. Now, I want to know, with this journey you have already, what exactly does it mean to you?
A very difficult question, but all question has an answer. With all these achievements, I think it means so well. Because personally, it has not been an easy journey. It has not been an easy journey, taking into considerations that you need to spend so much, especially on trainings. Yeah, because I've had like 3 master's classes. Yeah. 2 of them for castle cakes. Castle cakes. I've had 2 advanced master's class, and it cost us a lot. The second one was in Nigeria, which took almost close to $1 million just to attend that class. And others, like my first class that I attended was an advanced wedding cake class. And my tutor came from Nigeria as well, but it was in Yaoundé. That was in 2017. So it has not been easy just to displace yourself to acquire knowledge. It costs a lot. So at this point, if I'm at this level, I think I'm still getting somewhere. Yes.
Okay, talking about the cake industry, I know we cannot talk in Cameroon in general. We cannot talk about cake and Bamenda in particular. We cannot talk about cakes without mentioning Mr. Vusintang Walters. Now, do you think that the cake industry in Cameroon is united?
Without any bias, I think we are striving to be united. There is no perfect society, and I can't boast that we are united. There is no perfect society. We keep striving. And at each point in time, what we always strive for is unity, so that we can come together to be one. Because united, we can build more than when we are being divided. Yes. So at this level, we are getting there. Gradually, I think we are going to be united as one.
So what are the main challenges that, with your experience, you think that the cake industry in Cameroon is facing? And what are the major small points of solutions that you think that if we start adapting this system, it will solve the problem in the nearest future?
I'll take you back to the last question, not the last, the previous question you asked concerning the unity of us in the cake industry in Cameroon. Yeah. I think that is the first point we have to tackle. The way forward to see that our industry become one. That is the first thing we have to tackle, to unite ourselves as one. And we are trying to do this through our conferences, through workshops that we attend, we organize, and we call bakers, and we enlighten them. And there are so many of them. Just this February, as February is coming, we'll have another one big workshop in Limbe, Kame Cake Fiesta. Last year was the first edition, and it brought together so many bakers all over the country. This year is going to be a crowd pulling event. And when we come together in such arenas, we see how we can work together in order to be united so that we can take the industry to another level. Another major difficulty we have is our items, the ingredients. I think because we import from other countries, most especially from Nigeria, those of us who are fortunate to buy from China, we can do that. And when the products reach the country, vendors, they'll say their taxes, all those type of things, the prices are going to increase. So I think those are just some of the challenges that we faced. Yeah.
Now, talking about challenges, I noticed that you see, Cameroonians, they feel like they are getting full knowledge if they are taking a cake course, maybe from somebody out of Cameroon. I think, for example, like you said, a Cameroonian will feel better to spend his money and get a course of cake from a Nigerian. Does it mean that the Cameroonians in the industry are not up to the task to offer the master class that the Nigerians do?
Very good. At first, because Nigeria, close to us, is the most cheapest country close to us, and the relationship we have with Nigeria, that is why it's permitting us to go closer to them. And the level of technology that is in Nigeria, the level of awareness, their market is so vast. It's so vast, and their level of creativity is also alarming. So in the past, we always travel abroad, to Nigeria to gain knowledge. But I think we've reached a certain point in Cameroon that there are some of us in Cameroon that we are going to unite ourselves so that we are not going to, we'll break that gap of spending huge sum of money just to acquire knowledge. And that is why we want to assure the younger bakers who are coming up that what we went through will not allow them to go through that. And that is why the knowledge that we've acquired from our trainings that we went abroad, we want to bring them live in Cameroon. We want to organize workshops and trainings that will be befitting, so that when you stand anywhere to defend the Cameroon cake industry, you can talk without mincing your words.
That's heart-touching. Now, I want to know, with the experience you've had already, normally, I know a great leader is seen with the structure that he keeps behind for the younger generations to come forth and benefit from it. You've already said something about securing the young bakers space so that when they get to a level, they should be able to talk about the cake industry in Cameroon with confidence. So what have you put in space, like a structure, to ensure this younger generation to come forth?
Personally, I have an institution called Bolibes Artistry. Yeah. So there we do our normal cakes for customers, and we also organize trainings for upcoming bakers. Yeah. For upcoming bakers, we organize training because they say learning never ends. Yes. Sure. Learning never ends. So we organize training. And if you are a baker and you think to go for upgrade is waste of time, I think you are fooling yourself.
That's true.
Because the baking industry is like the fashion and designing industry. Every day, different designs are just popping. Different cake structures are popping. So if you don't upgrade, if you don't go for upgrades, what do you expect? You are going to be sent out of the market.
That's true.
So that is why, like the institution that I'm having, Bolibes Artistry, we strive to give the younger generation the knowledge that they need in order to do cakes the way they have to do them.
So hi there everyone. Before we continue the video, I just want to let you know that this is a platform where we have signed and taken a vow to give you all this information for free. But in return, what we just ask from you is just to click on the subscribe button and then like the video, give us your point about the videos in the comment section so that the algorithm could push and make us touch a larger span. Now, let's get back into the video. So it has more to do with creativity. Like if you're, I think if you're not creative in this space, you will quickly be kicked off because we don't want to see the same cake today and see the same cake tomorrow. You want to see something new every day. So do you teach creativity in your academy?
That is the first thing. That is the first thing because personally, I'm somebody who likes new things. I like jobs that are challenging, that will make you think out of the ordinary, that will make you sit and your brain will be like, wow, I should think, because that is the spice. That is how you gain the market. You need to be creative. You need to bring different things into the industry so that you will sell yourself and you also have a better position in the industry.
That's great. I think after this course, I might get into the baking industry in Cameroon. Now, I want to ask this. With all this experience that you've had, the awards you've won, the academy you have to train new bakers, and everything you put in place, do you think there is still something you need to know about the cake industry, maybe worldwide? Is there something you still need to know, or you already have all the knowledge and now you just need to be executing?
That is a very interesting question. Yeah, like I earlier said, that learning never ends. And if you stop learning, you start dying. That is it. I can't boast that at this level, I know everything. I will still go for upgrades. I will still, because where I am, I'm not satisfied. I don't want to stay at this level. I need to go further. I need to go to different places to defend the Cameroon cake industry. I have gone for competitions just within Cameroon. So I need to go for international competitions. So with all these things in mind, I think I need to always upgrade myself.
You made mention of something about training. What if there's a young Cameroonian out there who really have the passion in doing cakes and pastries, but one of the complaints that they are giving and almost putting on the table, they might not have money, they might not have the instruments and the materials to form up a beautiful cake. What exactly do you have to say to this young person? Like, because I know you started from somewhere before getting to somewhere, but at the level, something is stopping these people from starting. Maybe it could be material or something, but people like you face those challenges. But how did you overcome those challenges, and how can you channel it into a lane that will suit the Gen Z generation?
Talking about the trainings and how far I've gone and what I faced as a young baker when I was still growing. I think the first thing is the knowledge. Because financially, as I've said before, it is very expensive. And it is for that reason why some of us, the bakers, those of us who have established, we always come together to do those workshops like Abakwa workshop. It is now in the 4th season. We have the Bakers Conference, season 1 and 2. We have the Blueprint Sugar Craft. We have Kame Cake Fiesta, as I've been saying. In those workshops, we always have like 10 facilitators that are going to drill the younger bakers on different topics. And if you are fortunate to be in any of those workshops, you are going to grab knowledge that you can start. You can start, and from there, you can go for upgrades to become a better baker.
What if your challenges are maybe the materials that you put in place to form cakes? maybe a kind of spoon that they used to measure, a kind of thing that they used to do icing sugar. I see maybe I don't know. What if your challenge is coming from that domain?
To talk about that, you see the way I'm really taking time to talk about that because the equipments are very expensive. And you must not sit and you are thinking that I must have the most sophisticated equipment before I start. Because seriously, for myself, when I started baking, though I was from a home, my father was a cook, and when we were still very small, we had those things in our house, but we never knew the functions. So we had to misplace some of the things. So when I started baking, my first piping tool was a syringe. I got a new syringe just to write a name because that is part of creativity. I could not just sit and say, I will. At that time, the letter ketters were not even really the way they are now. They were very scarce. And so to write happy birthday, you must think of something that you can pipe and draw. So I got a syringe and it was like 200 francs. And from that command, I had to save money to get another tool. So it's not all about consumption. You need to save to prepare for the next step you are to take. Yes, because I don't know if the prices of the tools are going to get cheaper anytime from now.
Okay, now let's come back to this. You know, in the baking industry, no matter how big you are, I know there are some people that you see and consider like, okay, maybe this is an inspiration to me. From the way this man works, they inspire me. I want you to just tell us top 3 people that inspire you most, and you see them as the, not really, I don't really want to use the word best, but the leaders of the cake industry with your wisdom.
Very challenging question, but without any bias, I think there are so many, but like you've said, there is always somebody that you look up to when you are taking a certain direction.
That's true.
Yeah. Like in this cake industry, I can boast the first person. I can talk and talk and talk about her.
Mini, can we start from the third?
The third person.
Can we start from the third coming upward?
Okay, the third person is not a single person. The third person is everybody in the baking industry. Wow. Yes. Everybody in the baking industry.
Okay.
Yes, that's the third. Yes.
The second?
Okay, the second, I know everybody's waiting to hear. Definitely. The second is nobody else but one big cake boss, Abongwa Nekon. Wow. Yeah, he's an icon in the Cameroon cake industry. Yes, he's an icon.
So they call him the cake boss?
Yes, the cake boss. He's an icon. He was in Bamenda, but presently he's in Douala. He's in Douala. So he's one of the icons, and I look up to him because when you look at his work, it gives you the reason to go and think and better yourself. Yes. And when you do that positively, I think you are growing.
Now, in the first place,
if I've mentioned Nekon, is Boss Nayen. They call her Nana Yvonne. Yes. That's the first person that I can say. She has held my hand. She has stood by my side. She has taken me to places that I could not imagine to have even gone there. Yeah. She has dealt with me, and she has made me to remove that burning lion that was in me. Yes. That Uncle Wally, we are going to this place. We are going to, I said, boss, say, no, we are going to this place. If I don't have money, say, you will go.
Definitely.
And at the end of the day, we are going to go. She's the person who took me abroad,
Mm.
and it was quite an interesting adventure. Yeah. The first ever cake exhibition I attended out of the country in Benin City.
Mm.
Yeah. And she's still telling me that we are going to go places. So with that type of person beside you, you cannot twin your eye like this before saying that this is the first person
Yeah.
that.
Now, I was observing and I was trying to bring this question. You've mentioned, I was talking about the 3 top bakers, I was thinking maybe you were among them, but I didn't see you come third, second, or first. So, do you consider yourself the best in the cake industry?
Seriously? I should answer that question. Wow. There is this saying in the Bible. If you go to the book of, I think it's St. Paul letters to the Corinthians, chapter 2, that everybody has his or her own gift. Yeah. I might not be the best in the industry, but I think I have my own gift that I can easily excel in it without, I can boast that I am the best in this. Yeah. I can boast. And everybody, like the cake industry, like I earlier said, it has a variety. It's an industry that has varieties. Yeah. There is somebody who is perfectly ordered. You can take a square cake and you, without a twinkle of an eye, that person has completed it. Perfectly to cover a round cake. There is somebody who is perfect in sugar flowers. Yes. There's somebody that is perfect in sculpting. So the industry is a very wide one. And you see, with all this variety, as I say, variety is the spice of life. With me, I think if I want to say where I am superb when you talk about castle cakes. Yes. And it's a new trend that is coming to the country. When you talk about castle cake and cake lightning, yes, that is where I say I can beat my chest. That Uncle Wally, you can do this one.
You are the leading.
Yes.
Okay. That was a very good one, and I love the way you've packaged the answer. At least you've explained that the cake industry, we never even knew that it is separated in different. We just know we see a good cake and we judge it. If it's good, it's good. If it's not good, we don't like. We never knew that you had to differentiate some parts like this in the cake industry. So, before we round up, I want to know which package do you have upcoming? Because I saw from your calendar that you have a lot of training programs for next year. You have beginners classes, advanced classes, masters classes, advanced masters classes. So, which is the nearest package of a giveaway that you want to impact the new generations or those who are already in the domain? Which one is coming close? Which one is closest?
Talking about the trainings and classes, I think the best artistry, at first, we were just doing our classes randomly. But beginning this year, we are going to have a calendar on how we are going to do our trainings and sometimes just free workshops. Yes. So we'll have a calendar. So the one that is in the pipeline right away is an advanced class that will be taking place during the second week of January. Yeah, the second week of January. We are going to have that advanced class. And subsequently, we are going to have an advanced master's class in castle cakes and sculpting, a traditional bambileke gown. A traditional bambileke gown with a gravity cake. A gravity cake. We are going to have that one in Bamenda and in Douala.
Wow. That's great. That's great. Now, one of the things that moves people more to get into a domain is if they know the figures behind that domain. I take, for example, I can quickly get into maybe sales of dresses if I've gotten to know how much I can make from them. So with this, I was leading to this point. How much is the highest amount of money you've made at the peak? I want to use the example of the peak moment of your market. What's the greatest amount of money you've made in a month from pastries?
In the morning.
Or let's say from a contract, from just one cake, and it gave you this amount of money.
I won't really call the exact amount, but I think I've made a cake for over 3 million. And there are more expensive cakes which cost from 5 million, 6 million. The luxurious castle cakes, it costs a fortune for some people to do. And the traditional wedding gown, for traditional cakes, if you want to do a bambileke or a Northwest traditional wedding gown, mind you, you need to budget so well. Yeah, you need to budget. If you go to Nigeria, where they value cakes, you understand what it means. In a local gathering, in a quarter, the headquarter, when it is his birthday, he makes a cake, and you hear the amount he paid for that cake. In a village, the chief makes a cake for its anniversary. So in Nigeria, the way that they use cakes is like every day. But as a culture, we are just pleading and praying that we should have the culture of cakes, because if we really have that culture the way it is elsewhere, there are bakers that can go even up to 5 million a month.
Okay, now we're moving almost to the end. Now we can't close if you don't give us an advice. So this young man who is looking at us right now, this young man, I'm talking to you, he wants to get into the cake industry. He has the passion, but he has so many limitations. It could be material-wise, it could be money, it could be information on where to get a good training, it could be the courage to start. So with your experience, what are you saying to this young man? So, young man, listen.
Personally, in life, I think I can do all things through Christ, in whom my strength comes from. And talking to you that you are watching, I just want to tell you that you are a limitation to yourself. Yes. Because if you want to do something, if you willingly want to do something, you will do it. But if you limit yourself, that is where you keep just going down. Because, like I mentioned, I did not got up in a certain day and sit where I am today. It took me time. There were so many times that I wanted to give up. But because of perseverance, hard work, I say, no, I know where I am going to, and I need to work. And I do not sit. The first ever workshop I attended, and I was a facilitator. It was Baker's Delight Abaca Workshop Season 1. I was not even part of the facilitators that were envisaged for that workshop. But when I saw the course outline, I just went behind the scene and I PV the host, which is Boss Nayen. I told her that, Madam, there is something missing in this course outline. She said, what is it? I said, safety measures and hygiene in the workshop. At that point, she said, can you do that? Can you take that course? I said, yes. And I've never been in any workshop, any formal baker's gathering. Unfortunately, on that day, I was the first facilitator that was sent on set. And behold, I summoned courage. So you need to go above your expectations. Yes. I'm telling you that, yes, I'm telling you that you are watching. You need to go above and you are going to make it. There is no limitation. You are limiting yourself. There are opportunities out there that you just need to go out. You need to go out and you'll see what is there.
Okay, guys. It's been a real moment of the knowledge. I don't even know where to start. By thanking the facilitator, the chef, the information he has poured out here. I don't know. I really don't know where to start thanking. But, you know, one of the things that will make this move more, it is if you watching makes us to know that what we are doing is adding value into whatsoever you're doing and in your life too. So you will always get episodes like this. We will get people on different domains to speak and give you clear knowledge about this. So stay tuned, and we cannot close today without saying a very big thank you, Mr. Vusintan Waters, for gracing this studio today with your knowledge, with everything you have to say. So hoping to see you in another episode, and when you are talking of another level of the cake industry, especially in Cameroon. So guys, if you're new to this channel, make sure you subscribe. Give us your view about this video in the comment section, and feel free to share with one another so that you can be helping a soul to get that passion or to get to that level that they need to get. So while waiting to meet you guys on our next episode, stay blessed.